All right, guys, welcome to another podcast. So, obviously, the World Schools Festival is back, and while there are a few issues, and I will discuss those issues in an extended video, this is just an overview of the results plus a brief analysis of the games. One of the things I will say, the quality from some of the South African teams has been nothing short of phenomenal. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So, I'm going to try and keep this quite short and to be quite a quick video. So in terms of day one, Glenwood played John McGlashan, 32-17 win for Glenwood. Glenwood were not impressive in the least. John McGlashan don't seem like a strong team to me in the least. Now I predicted a Glenwood win, but I thought they would have won a lot more convincingly, and to be frank, I'm quite disappointed in their effort. Then look, the Western Province Invitational played a World Select team, and from what I saw, the World Select team was mainly made up of South African players anyway. It was a 76-29 win for the World Select. My prediction is not applicable yet because I didn't even know these teams were playing. They kept on changing the fixtures around. Then Sax played the Zambezi Steelers, a 43-24 win for Sax. I predicted a Sax win. I thought it would have been a bit more comprehensive than it was, and the Zambezi Steelers, a lot of the guys only met up a couple of days before, so it was quite an impressive result for the Zambezi Steelers, especially when you consider, some of the info I'm going to be giving you guys. There's some cricket scores, there's some scary scores coming up. Then Monument played Hartbury. Now, I really believed that Hartbury were going to win. And they were missing 3 England schools players, which is, it's going to affect most teams. But I really thought they would have taken the game to Monument a bit more. And honestly, 32-21, I think it completely flatters Hartbury. I think the score completely flatters Hartbury. I think Monument, if they had some better decision making in the back line, could have put 50 points on the board. And also, they lost their captain in the first 2 minutes of the game. He was a real beast. Then Poljin played the APD, the African Pacific Dragons, 50-24 win over there. I expected a draw. And I'll tell you why I expected a draw was because a lot of the guys in the APD squad are from the top schools in New Zealand. You got guys there from Hastings. You got guys there from Hamilton Boys. You got guys there from Wesley College. You've got guys there from I can't remember all the schools, but I'd say that half their squad comes from elite New Zealand schools. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm being told by someone whose information I trust. So a 50-24 win, when I predicted a draw, I was very, very wrong over there. And also the APD have had some warm-up games before, and they went to Dubai to acclimatise like a lot of the rest of the world teams did. So no excuse for weariness or travel or anything like that. Look, they're not used to playing together, and obviously these Poljin boys have been playing together from a young age, but that's still bloody harding. And let me say one thing about Poljin, a hell of a lot more impressive than I gave them credit for. Remember, I didn't think they were even going to be a top 5 school this year. I thought it was like a year too early for them, but they've completely proven me wrong. Then we move on to day 2, and look, it started off with Affies against the Italian All-Stars, 36-12 win for the Affies team. Much better Italian All-Stars team than there was last year, much better. They competed up to an extent. Affies weren't all that impressive. I don't think they're going to be major players on the South African team scene this year, to be completely honest with you. So 36-12 win for them. Then, to be honest with you, I was very surprised by this result. I predicted Napier would comfortably beat Boland Landbou. And the reason why I said that is because I've spoken to some of my Kiwi contacts, and apparently Napier not going to be too bad this year at all. And their forwards are apparently beast. They've got a good couple of players that are in line to make New Zealand schools, I'm being told. But they lost to Boland Landbou. Boland Landbou, frankly, are not good this year. I think they'll be outside the top 25 this year, to be honest with you. Alp McCarr put 50 points on the board against them. So this is not a strong Boland Landbou team. Napier completely dominated the forward exchanges, but their backline was up to shit. I liked the fullback, and I liked one of the wings, very unorthodox, but I liked him. I really liked their fullback. I don't know, things just didn't gel for these guys. I think if they got the right bounce of the ball, I think they could have they should have won this game by 20 to 25 points, to be completely honest with you. If you look at their movements, if you take a look at the forward exchanges, the scrums, and all the rest of it. They had the game. They lost the game more than Boland Landbou won the game, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Then Hilton against USA Schools, 43-0 win for Hilton. Now the quality of reffing has been absolutely shit. And as a man, and sometimes a bit sexist, as soon as I saw a woman reffing a game, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. Best ref so far. Best ref so far was a woman ref. The reffing has been shocking, and I'm not saying she was better, just a little bit average, better than average because they were so shocking. But yeah, she actually controlled the game very well. Wasn't a really interesting game. Hilton played pretty well. I don't think they'll be a top 20 side this year, though. So 43-0 win over what is effectively, from what I'm told, an American national team. As a fairly big harding. And if you guys are able to check out the highlights and all the rest of it, take a look at the size of the Hilton number 3. The guy's bigger than an international prop. I don't know what is happening or what hormones they're injecting into the food nowadays or something, but geez, these guys are big. And then we had Grey College against Christchurch Boys, 73-26. Very similar to last year. What is the difference? The difference is, in my opinion, Grey didn't play well. And I can't believe I'm saying it. It's the third time in a row that I'm saying Grey were not impressive, and they've put 50 points on the board against Gasfontein. They put 50 points on the board against Menlo Park, who beat them at under 16 level. They put 50 points on the board against Christchurch Boys, who honestly do not look that bad a team, to be completely honest with you. They don't look that bad at all. I know it's crazy. You just got to watch the game to sort of understand what I'm trying to say. It's ridiculous, you know. It's like someone arguing whether the sky's blue or not. You know what I mean? It's really weird to be arguing over something that's like seems so straightforward, but it's not. Grey have not clicked, and if they do click, I feel sorry for this next school that they play, which is going to be the next school I'm going to talk about. But yeah, back to Christchurch Boys. They just got overwhelmed. They just made silly mistakes at the wrong time, and I don't think they're as bad a team as the score suggests. One player that you guys need to look out for is Marcel Muller, the grey wing. Jesus, this guy must weigh close to 100 kilograms, and he's a schoolboy wing. It's scary. And then the last game was the host Paul Roos against Southland Boys, and look at that, gents. 93 points to 5. I could never have predicted this. Now, I predicted that Paul Roos would win. I predicted Grey College would win. But there's no way in hell I thought these type of scores would arrive. There's no way on earth I could have predicted that. Now, again, I'm going to say something that sounds completely scary. Southland don't look that bad. Paul Roos just looked that good, unlike Grey College, who didn't execute a lot of their game plan and looked at a lot of like very scrappy. Paul Roos almost played an hour, because that's the format of this tournament, 30 minutes per half. They almost played a full hour of literally perfect rugby. Perfection. Remember the Grey versus Christchurch Boys game from last year, where the first 20 minutes Grey were like virtually unstoppable, right? Picture that for a full 60 minutes, basically. That's what Paul Roos were today. Their forwards completely starved Southland Boys of possession. Like there's nothing they could have. There's nothing that any team that played Paul Roos today could have done, unless you could have battled them in the forward exchange. But I didn't see any teams that played yesterday or today that could actually match Paul Roos in the forward exchanges. We'll know a lot more when Grey plays Southland, but this was just a gulf in quality like you've never seen in your life, purely because Paul Roos literally cut off their oxygen. To score tries, generally you need to get the ball to your backs, and you got to get them on the front foot. Southland had no chance, zero chance to get front foot ball, because they just got completely. The oxygen got just completely taken out by the Paul Roos forwards. They were dominant today. I've never seen a forward display like that in my life. Professional rugby, schoolboy rugby, provincial rugby, international rugby, you name any rugby, I've never seen a forward display like this in my life, guys. I've never seen anything like it. It was unflippin' real, the forward display. And Southland had some big Islander boys in their team, huh? You know, like a lot of the New Zealand followers talk about these big islanders they have. These guys got the snot knocked out of them by the Afrikaans boys. They got the snot knocked out of them. They got driven back. They got tackled hard. They got starved of possession. There was just nothing to do. And I feel bad for Southland because it's like the score is not really a fair reflection on their quality as a team. And one thing I respect about them as well is they played until the final whistle. They didn't give up. It was just a quality team that they played, and they were overwhelmed, but they fought and fought and fought right until the end, and you can only respect that. So, yeah, I mean, day 3 and day 4 coming up, and I'll give my analysis then. So, I've been asked questions about the uploading of highlights similar to what I did last year. So I'm hoping to. I just have to try and figure some things out. Unfortunately, this year it's pay to play, and it's an Australian company doing it instead of a local company, which is complete horseshit in my opinion. I'm going to have a lot to say about what the organisers did with the festival this year. I'm going to have a lot to say about that because they truly stuffed things up. But that's going to be for the next video. But look, if I do figure out a way to upload the highlights, there are going to be some audio difficulties. Yeah, so the audio is definitely not going to be as good as it was last year. So those of you that love Gavin Cowley's voice, unfortunately it's not going to be as clear, but what can you do? I'm doing this shit for free, unlike the Australian company. So those of you that are bitching, unsubscribe, mofos. And the next time, so I'm going to do an analysis of day 3 and 4. I'm going to do the team of the tournament, and I'm going to discuss the good, the bad, and the fugly of the tournament. And good Lord, is there a lot of fugly to discuss. Geez, it just sounds like I bitch and moan and all the rest of it all the time. But you guys will understand. Those of you that are watching the tournament that have actually paid for it, I mean, look, it's not great that they're making people pay for a school tournament and all the rest of it. But at the same time, if you can't pay $110, I mean, if you're bitching about 110 Rand, you've got other issues to worry about. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and those of you that are following the festival and keeping up to date with it and watching it live or whatever, let me know what your thoughts of the festival are. I'd love to include that in a future video, and otherwise, see you in a couple of days. Cheers, bye.